the year 2028, one Big Mac will equal $1 million. From the Gospel of John McAfee. Bro, just learn to code. The Project Freedom Podcast.
What's up, guys? I'm Josh, or as you probably know me, eLift Program, and I'm here to talk to you about Developer Direction. What is Developer Direction, you might ask? We are the ultimate IT network and training academy. Ever heard of Fight Club? Yeah, it's kind of like that, but with more computing power. We teach and give courses just like boot camps, but that's not all. We help people actually get jobs, unlike colleges, and we help people get better jobs with better pay and a better life. Here at DD, you don't get grades because your performance is reflected upon by how good you're doing in the real world. You won't accumulate hundreds of thousands of dollars in student debt because we offer a one-time yearly fee that's a fraction of that price. And you won't be wasting your time learning about the latest and greatest social trends because you'll be too busy learning about the latest and greatest trends in the tech and IT market. From courses to networking to problem solving to teaming up together on projects, giving and receiving mentorship, we've got it all. So whether you're a beginner who knows nothing about code or tech, a college student, or a 50-year vet, we got you covered. So head on over to developerdirection.com. We got one of our favorite courses, Blockchain Fundamentals, updated for everything that's going to be the latest and greatest in blockchain technology for 2022. Check it out. Sign up for the mail list if you want to keep up with our latest and greatest. The year 2028, one Big Mac equals $1 million. $1 million McDonald's Big Mac. How could that fucking be possible? Well, ladies and gentlemen, tonight I'm going to explain that to you. Now, I don't know if $1 million Big Mac is actually going to be a tangible thing that's going to happen. But if you look at Venezuela and countries of the like that have had similar monetary policy issues, $1 million Big Mac is definitely not out of the range. And actually, it could be a lot more than $1 million. But I would say by then, all of us would be millionaires and it wouldn't mean anything. So what is that? What is it's a joke, right? 2028, one Big Mac, $1 million. But where's the joke from? We're going to talk about that a little tonight. But the reason that you guys are here is the market crash. No, my God, it's going to zero. Ah! Did you guys like the thumbnail that I put on it too? I tried extra hard on that one. But why? Why did we crash? Why did the market go down? Why did Bitcoin go from not too long ago, $69,000, basically 70 grand, to I think it hit like what, $41,000 last night? That is like a $30,000 difference in a swing. And I was awake and I watched it all. I watched the bleeding in real time, and it was kind of exciting. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of cool to watch that because that doesn't happen very often, right? But we are going to talk about that right now. So the cryptocurrency market, quote unquote, crashed. Okay. Some things more than others, right? As always. But what is the real reason, I believe, behind most of this? And I think the way that I see it, a lot of other people don't really see it this way, or maybe that they do. It's just that they're not actively thinking about it. And this goes back to like kind of the whole reason why people are in cryptocurrency in the first place. Quite frankly, the whole reason why Bitcoin itself, the original, the first one was created. Okay. Now, obviously, there was a lot of like leverage liquidations, and we were all kind of like jacked up on leverage, like a a bachelor at a bachelor party on jacked up on cocaine. But I don't think that was like the single solitary reason in the triggering. And I'm going to try to make some points here tonight that kind of prove my hypothesis. And then also make some points that kind of indicate that, like, to me, and maybe you disagree, maybe you do agree. But I mean, it would be hard. It would be hard to disagree if with data presented that the price didn't drop because people are like bailing on cryptocurrency or because everyone just was like, panic selling. Nowadays, most people that are in the market, which I mean, I don't know if this statement that I'm about to say is correct or not. All right, but a lot of people here right now have already been through like so much dumpiness that like this wasn't like super surprising, right? Aside from the people that were, that are new, which I'm also going to talk about that. Hopefully, I didn't write this part that part down because I do believe that the average price, the people that were selling, the average buy-in price of Bitcoin was like $66,000. So they were new people that came in, bought Bitcoin at 66 grand, and then sold it. But ladies and gentlemen, take out your tinfoil hats, put them on real quick, okay? Because this might be a little too tinfoil hatty for you guys out there. I don't know if you guys can handle this, or if even the platform that I'm streaming on can handle this, but that's fine. I'm going to say it anyway. And if I look like I'm crazy or you think I'm crazy, that's fine too. I actually am a pretty crazy guy. But I'm willing to bet a left and a right nut and one Bitcoin. I got it right here, placing my chips on the table. Obviously I can't place my left and my right nuts on the table because that would be, well, you guys know, right? Josh's sweaty headband says, please air me out, Josh. Who are you? Is that Sam or Kyle or is it Michael? Which one of it is it? Because you guys keep pointing to each other. Stop it. Actually, guys, I don't even know where my spotted sweaty headband is. I guess I could skin Light. I could skin Light's tail and fashion it into a headband, but I think that would be kind of cruel. I need to go find it though. Victor Cook says, "Ree!" Yes, Victor, I feel that way. Kyle W says, Kyle saying big town country man. You have the inverse. Small town southern man. Fire's Force says, Lord Smeeman, we need you now more than ever. Yes, we do need Lord. We need Boy Smeeman. Cody Moose in the Who says it's all going to zero. Give all Bitcoins to me. I'll take the hit. No. Sorry, can't do that, Cody. Wayne Emery says Bitcoin for president. Look at that clean YouTuber desk. It's actually kind of dirty a little bit right now. Does it look clean? Were you being facetious there, Max Ignitas? Were you being facetious? The tinfoil never comes off. Good. You need to keep the tinfoil on your head to protect yourselves from the RF waves, all right? Okay, guys. So let's get into it. Something that a lot of other people, specifically on this platform, aren't saying, and I think that they know. I'm pretty sure that they know this, okay? But they're not saying it. I think the reason why they're not saying it is obvious. A lot of their channels are a lot larger than mine by like multiple 10x's. And if they were to openly voice this as their opinion, well, people might think negatively of them, or they might have, maybe they feel like they might be in the hot seat or something. But I don't really care. So I'm just going to say it. The Fed, and when I say Fed, I mean the Federal Reserve and the government, and not just our government, okay, all of them, they are aware that Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, first of all, they hate it. They hate it, right? They absolutely hate it. We're going to talk about that too here in a second. But they're aware, guys, that the rapid increase of prices in this new asset class is a direct, and I mean direct, reflection upon the rate of inflation. Okay? Even though real estate has gone up substantially, It hasn't gone up anywhere near as much as many cryptocurrencies. I mean, like literally, Rocket has gone up higher at one point in this last year than the real estate market has. Okay. Like random shitcoin number 7210 has gone up higher than real estate. And then also things like real estate. I'm using real estate as an example because that's like the largest, that's the most owned asset that people have because it's like an everyday person's asset. Like if you're a boomer, that was the first asset purchase that you made, essentially, like real asset purchase. And prices, quote unquote, always go up on real estate. However, if you listen to Robert Kiyosaki, he says, yeah, they always have gone up in the past, aside from the 2008 housing collapse. But that totally wasn't because what's going on, what happened back then is kind of mirroring what's going on now. But yeah, guys, like it is a direct reflection on how bad inflation really is. You see, when you go to the store, and although we are seeing prices increase all over, when you go to the store and you buy something, you don't really start to notice that the thing that you paid $1.02 for is now $1.62 because it's still $1 and some change, right? Even though that's like a 50% increase ish. You don't really notice that. It maybe you look at your grocery bill, you're like, hey, this is like $30-$40 more expensive than it used to be only a couple months ago. But maybe you figure, well, I don't know, I got that extra thing of cheese this time. I don't know, blah 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 blah. You do all these justifications, whatever. All right, it's not the same, okay, as seeing a digital asset. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Go from $3,000 to $69,000 in about a 1.5 year time frame. All right. Now that is it's quite a bit. The numbers are larger too, right? So when you see like 69,000 compared to 3,000 or $1.69 compared to $1.09, okay. And the thing is, with real estate, like aforementioned, you can kind of write it off as, everyone was afraid about this, and people were staying inside and saving money, and interest rates were lowered, so everyone can get a great deal, and the housing market was so competitive, and real estate always goes up. So like there's some kind of like little snippets of like breadcrumbs you can feed to the crowd that to appease them a little bit on that, okay? But if it were 100%, like if they just flat out came out and said it, they're like, yeah, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, the reason why it's going up so much is because our monetary policy is failing. We have printed way too much money. Then they would that would be it, right? Well, actually, that wouldn't be it, because what would actually happen is people would say, okay, well then why did you do that? Why did you do that? Now, would they have a cover story for that? Would they have a cover story for that? Let's say in the last 2-year timeline. Did anything happen, guys, in the last 2 years that potentially could have, I don't know, prevented a majority of people in the workforce from not working, paying their rent, paying their mortgage, maybe some kind of event, guys, that might have happened in the last 2 years that potentially could have incentivized the government and the Fed to print more money. Now, hold on. I'm trying to think. What could... that's right. That's right. That beer insect thing, right? Because everyone had to stay inside. Nobody could go to work. Everything was closed. I would use the word SHUTDOWN, but I can't really say that. I'm pretty sure I've been told not to say that word, so I'm just not going to say it. But that was a story, right? But has that been the case recently? Not really, right? There's not really anybody kind of forced to stay inside, or if they are, quote unquote, forced, they're just not listening. They're not complying. In fact, this weekend, guys, in Miami, there is an art show called Art Basel. I've never seen more people in this city than I have since I moved here. It's kind of annoying, but people are all out and about. Nothing's been closed here for actually since I moved here, and everything's kind of normal. Besides the fact that people aren't returning to their jobs, but we're going to get into that in a second. The point here is that prior to when all this was happening, they kind of had an excuse as to why this, for lack of a better word, obscene monetary policy measurements have been going on. Now, a fact that I want to share with you guys here, why don't we just go ahead, let's just go ahead and share that now. And if you guys don't know, now you do. 45% of American households stated that they feel inflation is negatively affecting their lives. So let's see what the news has to say about that. And I don't know if I should play this. This seems kind of meh. So let's zoom in here. Soaring inflation is inflicting financial pain on nearly half of U.S. households as prices for everyday necessities like food and gasoline continue to surge, according to a Gallup survey published on Thursday. And there you go. There's the number. About 45% of households are being hurt by the recent price spike, according to the survey of nearly 1,600 people, which is not a whole lot, but this is only conducted between November 3rd and November 16th. So, guys, this wasn't that long ago. It's not like they did the study over a year. This was just like recent, very recent. Roughly 10% said that the increase had affected their standard of living, while another 35% described the hardship as quote unquote moderate for now. The effect is more pronounced among lower income families. Now, this is a good point that they're making right here. 71% of those making less than 40 grand a year say that they experience hardship, compared to 29% of those earning more than $100,000 a year. What's more, 28% of Americans who are considered lower income said that hardship they are experiencing is severe and hindering their ability to maintain their current standard of living. So one thing I would note here, guys, is that, and I'll take that down for a second, is that the way this works is it affects the lowest income earners first, all right? And then it moves, so the lower class, then it moves its way to the middle class and the upper middle class and then the upper class and then the upper class. And it usually takes it to get all the way up there before anyone's like, all right, what is going on? What is going on? So, at least for now, because if this does continue, it is going to move its way all the way up. It is apparent to at least 45% of the population that the system that we have right now, as far as a monetary policy, just simply doesn't work. Okay. Like, you guys, my viewers, I don't have to explain this to you guys because you guys already know, but, I mean, basically the system, the way that it is, it's a disingenuous one. It's designed to keep people dependent upon the government. Okay. If you disagree with that, you better have some good sort of evidence to disagree upon with that, because I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's about as clear as it gets. All right. So the system's not working, guys, and half the country can see, more than half the country can see, but from the survey, quote unquote, 45% can see. So you guys remember, and I would play it for you guys, but it's not on YouTube anymore. The World Economic Forum, they posted a video, and it was called The Great Reset, talking about how you will own nothing and you will be happy. Eat the bugs, right? Just eat the bugs, guys. It's not a problem. Just eat the bugs. It's no big deal, I promise. The reason why, and this isn't just, everyone knows what the Great Reset, okay? Even though if you go and Google it, they're like, oh, it's just some kind of title of an article, blah, blah, blah. We all know what's up, right? It's been washed. Its traces amongst the internet are washed, but I mean, the cat's out of the bag, right? The reason for this quote unquote reset that happens to be great in nature, so they claim, is because the system has lasted too long. And every time it gets to a certain point, they have to flip a little switch and reset it. Okay. The only problem is that these resets are starting to happen a little too fast. The last one was around 2008. If you guys know about what went on that year and the years leading up to it, and you take the events that happened and you start comparing them to now, kind of makes sense. If they just let it go on for forever, guys, like it becomes too loopy and one Big Mac equals $1 million, right? That's why that little reset that happens to be great in nature, that's the purpose for it, okay? And yeah, I mean, if they just don't continually do that, because the system, the way that it is, doesn't work, right? It's rigged. If they don't continue to do that sporadically throughout time, everyone would need $1 million for a Big Mac, and shit would just be too jacked up. It'd be too way out of whack, and then it would be far too obvious, far too obvious, and then people would have to do something about it. People would say something about it. They would take their time. They would take the time to say something about it because quite frankly, they wouldn't be able to afford to eat food, right? They would literally have to eat bugs. So here's another article that I would like to share with you guys so that I can make a point. But do you know who was preparing for this or has been preparing for this? China has. China has been prepared for this, guys. So you check this article out right here. It says China set to create a new state-owned rare earth giant. Basically, some kind of state-owned company by the CCP in order to dig up rare earths, gold, silver, diamonds, whatever. Let's see what this article says itself. The move, expected to be announced this month, would aim to strengthen China's dominance of global supply chain around the strategic metals. China has approved the creation of one of the world's largest rare earth companies, which, by the way, happens to be state-owned. Have we ever seen that before? A state-owned, basically like gold mining company? I'm not aware of it. If it does exist, let me know. To aim to maintain its dominance in the global supply chain of the strategic metals, and as tensions deepen within the U.S., according to people familiar with the matter. That's weird. Why would they be trying to make a state? Why would they be making the world's largest, yet also state-owned company to dig up rare metals? What? I wonder why. Maybe it's because, what was the original purpose of gold and silver? To act as a hedge against inflation once we switch off the gold standard. Aha! Makes sense. But then you have to think, well, why is gold's price still the same? And we can talk about that in a second. So as of now, guys, there are, like I said earlier, there's no more, at least in the United States, there's no more LOCKDOWNS, right? There is, at least as far as I'm aware of, if I'm incorrect, someone let me know. But people aren't running around like panicking anymore like they did kind of like, when this all started. They were told that things were really, really, really bad. This one time, it's really going to be really, really, really bad. We promise if you just do this one thing for 15 days, maybe there's some kind of curve that might be flattened. Just trust us. And then that ended up blowing over. But the second time, I know we said the first time it was going to be really bad, but this time, guys, this time it really is bad. We swear, please. We swear. I promise we're not the boys who cried wolf. We swear. Trust us. Trust us. We've never lied to you, right? And then it happened a second, and a third, and a fourth, and a fifth time, up to the point to where people were like, I'm not even going to really wear this thing on my face anymore because I got duped. The whole fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, fool me thrice. That means that I would be dumb. And there's also no like great giant war going on. There's no WW3 that could have been a reason why our monetary policies had to be the way that they are. So there's no real reason why these things should be taking place. And yet another article I have to share with you all. Looks like I'm going to have to remove my ad blocker on this, guys. Hold on one second. There we go. Now, what is this? The IMF urges the Fed to speed up monetary policy tightening amid mounting inflation fears. Wah, wah, wah. So it looks like the International Monetary Fund is telling the Federal Reserve, hey, guys, you better start getting prepared. Better start getting prepared to do the same thing you did back in 2008, to shut it down. Shut it down. Because that's essentially what they can do. That's what they have the ability to do. They can just simply flip a switch, turn it on, and then flip a switch and turn it off. Okay? It really is that simple. Essentially, like, they can flip a switch. They can raise interest rates overnight. They can stop printing money. They can taper their bond purchases, et cetera, et cetera. And they can do the opposite. And they can make this fake, because it is fake, debt, slavery-based system act whatever way they want it, because they're the puppeteers, guys. It's just how it is, all right? That's just how it is. So earlier this week, Federal Jerome Powell said that the central bank could step up its tapering efforts and that this would likely be discussed at a meeting this month. This is December 3rd, guys. This is yesterday, 9 a.m., the day of the crash. Okay. Data released in November showed that U.S. Consumer Price Index rose 6.2% in October from a year ago, hitting its highest level in 30 years. All right. So 6.2%, highest level in 30 years. And that's if you believe that the number is 6.2%. Well, it's got to be 6.2%. It's just got to be. They've never lied to us about anything before, right? I mean, I'm sure the fact that my house that I sold that went up 35%, I'm sure that was just like a one-off thing. And I'm sure the fact that my 5-year-old used car that is up 8%, that's just a second off thing. And I'm sure we won't even say these other things because, I mean, obviously they would never lie to us, right? They would never lie. It's interesting how that warning comes out right before we had a giant crash. And we didn't just crash the cryptocurrency market. The equities market was not doing too hot either. Right, fellas? Max Anita says, bro, I forgot about Cum Rocket. Never forget. Never forget. XCity Roland says, can we as the crypto community come together and commission a super giga Citadel yacht and sell each condo suite to cover cost? Don't billionaire have their residence on their yachts to avoid taxes? I'm sure this is within the range of possibility. That sounds kind of fun. Mr. Perez says, but Bitcoin increased primarily from USDT printing a fuck ton of cryptos. So dude behind that could convert to physical assets. I'm not 100% sure how Tether like prints and then burns their crypto, or their USDT, but they're also being watched very closely now too, aren't they? XC Roll says, and 40% of PUA funds went to fraud. Cody Moose in the Who says, I wish the average person would have the insight to ask any of those questions. They're not going to, Cody. Never put expectations on normal people because you're just going to get let down, my friend. You're just going to get let down. Bitcoin increased primarily. Oh, wait. I think you said that twice. So team behind Tether could make off and convert that Bitcoin to money to physical assets. But they haven't done that, though, right? That's the thing. Club Hexco says, Scabby Schwabby. The WEF run by Klaus Schwab is Mr. Monopoly. Yes. Tom RKBA says, hey, gosh, corner and control the markets for $1,000, Alex. Tom, oof, that's bad speak, Tom. Don't say such things. Monsanto trying to patent essential seeding grains to scumbags. What's new? Metals back fake money. They did, right? No longer, though. Variant says, Flipsy Switch. Yes, my lord, it shall be done. It shalleth be doneth. Now we know what the IMF told the Federal Reserve the day that this all happened. Right, guys? Odd coincidence. Yay? So I think it's starting to become very apparent that they are, and when I say they, I think you guys know, they're very, 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 very worried about Bitcoin. Very worried. In the beginning, guys, it was Bitcoin. It's just for criminals. It's nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here. To China saying we literally must ban all miners and then we must ban all cryptocurrency from our country. To the SEC chairman last week, Gary Gensler, saying, yes, cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin are a threat to our monetary system, to the US dollar, saying it out loud. And then to Charlie Munger 2 days ago, crying like a fat, lazy, stupid, excuse me, didn't mean that, only in a video game, crying to the world, I wish Bitcoin never existed. Never existed. God damn it, you Bitcoin. Why do you exist? Why would someone, I mean, if it's nothing, right? If there's nothing wrong, if it's just nothing, it's just a Ponzi, it's just used by criminals. If it's nothing to see here, if it's all fake, phony, why would someone go out of their way so many times to say things so angrily? Like, I wish it never existed. Meh. The fuck? That's kind of weird, right, guys? Oh yeah, and the week before, Hillary Clinton coming out saying how we need to be very careful and keep our eyes out for that Bitcoin and that cryptocurrency, and many other people in the last couple of weeks and months saying similar things, right? They're all saying the quiet part out loud, guys. They're not trying to hide it anymore. They're saying the quiet part out loud. Okay? This is important. This is important because this is how we know how far this has gone off the rails, ladies and gentlemen. They knew from the beginning what Bitcoin was. They knew from the beginning what it did. They knew what its purpose was. Everyone knows that. It's in the Genesis block. We know this, right? We know from day one what its purpose was, and so did they. And they're saying these things out loud, and they're terrified right now because, quite frankly, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, it challenges their system. And it shows how bad the inflation really is. It's like holding up a mirror to it. Literally, it's like holding up a mirror to it. Now, like we were talking about earlier, when you go on an exchange, like you can actually custody your cryptocurrency and then move it off the exchange. You can't really do that with the gold and silver paper market. In fact, I would be willing to guess that there's nowhere near, like if you had to come in and like claim the gold and silver that you were trading or owned on the paper market, like an ETF, almost can guarantee, and I'm not the only person who said this throughout the years, or who, if we go back the last 10 years, so many people have said it, that there's not even enough of gold and silver that exists or in custody of these people to be able to claim. Okay. So they've learned how to control the paper markets a long time ago. And then cryptocurrencies came along and they truly showed the devaluation of the US dollar, the devaluation of the fiat monetary system. If they hadn't suppressed gold and silver with the paper markets like they have, that would have also shown what is going on right now. But it isn't until now, until we literally have a sneaky technology that you can't do that with, at least not to the same extent that everyone's starting to wake up and see what's going on. Everyone's talking about inflation now. So, like, guys, these people like Charlie Munger, like Hillary, Clinton, everyone that is kind of like on the quote unquote inside, the bank, you know what bank I'm talking about. They control the fiat system, guys. They control all of it. And all the people that are on the inside, they like the system because they benefit from it. So, of course, they're going to spend their time to say bad things about it, right? Of course, they're going to use their words because that's all they really have is their words to try to knock it down like they have been. Literally throughout the last year. And they're afraid. They're very afraid, guys. Because once it's too which I would say it's already too painfully obvious to ignore. Once the entire world can't ignore it, it would be over. It would be done with. And they would be panicking harder than they've ever panicked before in their existence, in their meager existence. Spark 55 says, "What's up? What's up, my friend?" Max Nita says, "I heard that Bitcoin goes into people's houses at night and steals their children. Hashtag just things the government told me." Yes, you got to be very careful. Be very careful about that. That Bitcoin going into people's houses and taking their little kids away. That would be awful. Would be very awful, my friends. So, I'm not trying to make this a like, oh my God. I'm letting you guys know like the part about it that nobody else is really saying. And they know this stuff, guys. Like most people do. It's just not really at the front of everyone's minds. Everyone's focused on like, really everyone's focused. Everyone that's in the market right now, they're all so focused on how can they benefit from this? How can they profit from this? And they should be thinking that way. But at the same time, in the back of everyone's minds, they're like, is this system going to last forever? Are things going to stay the same way that they have? I would say no. I would definitely say no. Spark, I would read that comment, but I can't because of the words in there. Jesus Christ. Sweet Jesus. So what can you guys do about the situation? I mean, if you're in the market, you're doing a pretty good job right there. Like every time that you take your money and move it into there, that is basically like without having to say it, that is a direct protest of the monetary system, all right? You could support the blockchain as well. You could do development from the blockchain and get paid for it. You could just choose to, I don't know, like the other options, I guess, at this point are to just like go and just not exist in the current system, which good luck. Maybe you could barter with gold and silver right now. We just talked about that. Antonio says, buy the dip. I hear things may go lower. Yeah, of course. It's definitely possible. Guys, I would say at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw like extreme volatility both up and down. So, you know, especially with everything that we talked about already tonight. Like, in fact, that's what I would be expecting. I would not be surprised to see those crazy moves on a regular basis. And here's the thing, guys. Like they're very afraid of it. All right, I've just explained that to you guys. They're very, very, very afraid of it. So the stuff that they're saying to put it down, it's not going to stop. Okay, Charlie Munger is not going to stop crying like a little baby bitch about how he wished Bitcoin never existed. He hates it so much. He wishes it never existed. And Hillary Clinton is not going to stop saying how we need to regulate it. And the IMF, well, the IMF's going to keep telling the Federal Reserve, hey, start tapering your rates because it's getting a little obvious out there. It's getting a little obvious. You could just choose to ignore it, right? Or you could not. You could just, I don't know, you could freak out. If you invested your time, money, and energy to not only just learn about this stuff, but to move your money into that system as opposed to their system. I mean, I guess you could listen to it and freak out and sell and just contribute to the opposite. But you know, Sam says, "Oh shit, didn't know you were live. Glad I'm in DRIP. Drip drip." Tom Graff says, like the vid to pump up Bitcoin. Yes, you need to like the video. It'll pump Bitcoin up. Patricio says, today I fixed SQL problem without knowing much SQL. LOL. I told you, dude. What did I tell you? I told you could do it, man. I told you, Patricio. I told you. One claps to Patricio. Patricio is indeed becoming a shadowy supercoder, I must say. And speaking of things that you can do to support the blockchain, you could become a developer for it, like I talked about a moment ago. And actually, I don't even know if I have this pulled up. No, I don't. And while we're on the topic, so I can move on afterwards, you can go to developerdirection.com, sign up for the Blockchain Fundamentals 2022 course. Enrollment ends December 12th, I believe. And you can gain a skill set that 99.99% of people don't have. You can make money from that skill set. I won't list off every single thing that skill set can bring you, but you could do that too. St. Chocolate says, this is the financial industry's version of open hypergamy. Yeah, dude, good point. Hey, that's a good analogy, bro. That's a good analogy. I didn't even think about that. Tanya says, I heard the SEC is going after Cardano next. They're going to go after everybody and everything, but there's really nothing they can do about it, man. There's just nothing. Patricio, play Final Fantasy level up music. There you go. Yes. Isn't SQL a boomer language? I mean, we all kind of need to know it, right? We all kind of need to know it. Everybody needs to at least know how to select star from insert table name here. I heard Justin's son has enrolled in the course. Justin's son? I don't know who that is, but I'm going to have to check that out, maybe. Rando Kiev says, the timing is too coincidental. OMICRON-PERSI numero 8 variant hits us, and then this happens. Yeah. Ranu, go back and watch the stream when I'm done. Go back and watch the stream from the beginning. A lot of things are going to make sense because it's not just that's coincidental. There's a lot of things that are coincidental. Okay. Flesh and Fat says Hex is cheap right now. What's the price? Somebody, Crypto Whale-Bot, P Hex. Somebody tell me. Patricio is evolving. Tom, you have evolved quite a bit too. And speaking of people who now have taken a previous blockchain course and have a job in the blockchain industry, Mr. Tom Graff right here. hats off to you, Mr. Tom. You are now an official shadowy supercoder, professionally getting paid for it, I might add. Tom's actually a smart dude. Tom's actually a very smart dude as well. Justin Sun, the guy behind Binance. Oh, you mean CZ? Huh? JS is Tron's TRX founder. Okay, Tron. 16.9 cents. Isn't that the same price it was yesterday, the day before? It's like the same price. I don't think that thing went down as much as everything else. 1539. 152. Just saw on TradingView. 14.9 USDT. So that's pretty cheap. I'd say that's pretty cheap. I mean, as far as like fair value of everything right now, I'd say like everything's cheap, guys, to be honest with you. After what happened, guys, it's not a fucking coincidence, okay? It's not. And now, guys, now. Are you ready for my final trick? For my final trick, guys, let's go look at some data and let's see if there's anything else that's a little sussy that was going on with this situation. I think I had. Did I have? Let's see. I was already logged into CryptoQuant. First, let me take a selfie. Just kidding. I'm actually going to go to the little boys' room real quick. I'll see if I can find my spotted sweaty headband. Hold on, guys. What's up, guys? I'm Josh, or as you probably know me, Elif Program, and I'm here to talk to you about developer direction. What is developer direction, you might ask? We are the ultimate IT network and training academy. Ever heard of Fight Club? Yeah, it's kind of like that, but with more computing power. We teach and give courses just like boot camps, but that's not all. We help people actually get jobs, unlike colleges, and we help people get better jobs with better pay and a better life. Here at DD, you don't get grades because your performance is reflected upon by how good you're doing in the real world. You won't accumulate hundreds of thousands of dollars in student debt because we offer a one-time yearly fee that's a fraction of that price. And you won't be wasting your time learning about the latest and greatest social trends because you'll be too busy learning about the latest and greatest trends in the tech and IT market. From courses to networking, to problem solving, to teaming up together on projects, giving and receiving mentorship, we've got it all. So whether you're a beginner who knows nothing about code or tech, a college student, or a 50-year vet, we got you covered. So head on over to developerdirection.com. We got one of our favorite courses, Blockchain Fundamentals, updated for everything that's going to be the latest and greatest in blockchain technology for 2022. Check it out. Sign up for the mail list if you want to keep up with our latest and greatest. I found it, guys. I found it. It was in the bathroom. It was in the bathroom. Love the Tron movie. Hate the crypto. Hex dropped. Tom Graff says, thanks, bro. Credit to Dev Direction. It's the real deal. Thank you, Tom. Thank you for the good, kind words. Bitmart got hacked a few hours ago. Some Hex got dumped. I'm buying more ammo. I guess Josh didn't get the Futurama reference. Man, there's so many Futurama episodes. How am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to know, guys? I haven't even seen Futurama in forever. I honestly really don't even watch TV anymore. Okay. All right, so now on to the final trick, guys. But Tom wants to know, did I wash the headband? No. This never washing it, bro. Never. All right, so let's take a peep. Let's take a peep here. Okay, so like as far as this chart goes, the exchange reserves. So you guys can see right here, this is where the price dropped significantly yesterday. And at the same time, the reserves on exchanges are going down. So fundamentally, it's nonsensical to think that, look, you guys know the whole supply demand thing, right? There's less of it already. So I would just go ahead and double down on everything that I said earlier today in the stream, but and we can look at the same for Ethereum too. I think Ethereum is even more substantial to be honest with you. Yeah, look at that one. That is wicked. That is wicked. There is like nothing on there, homies. There is like nada on there. I wish they give a percentage in here too. You know what? I need to sign in. Whoopsie daisies. There you go. What else? And I looked at this for a little bit too. Like, I looked at, let's see. What did I look at? Going to work. Market indicators. So we did have a lot of leverage, like I said, and I did say I thought that was part of it. That's down substantially, but it's not like, if you look at here, it's not like, especially on the exchange flows, like we're still like super low. So it's not like this time. If you guys remember, in fact, I think we can find that on here. Where is that guy? Net flows, inflows. Okay, so look at this, guys. You see this big ass fucking giant purple candle right here? Right here? This was on May 18th of this year. Someone actually threw like 69,000 Bitcoin on Coinbase and just sold it all. Not when it was at the top. Okay. And that was also at the same time they had in the media all the same things like I'm talking about earlier on the stream, right? But this time, it's kind of like people got smart. People kind of got greedy, and they felt dumb for being tricked before. So, first of all, I mean, the leverage stuff, right? One thing led to a next, led to a next, led to the next. But it's no coincidence, guys. It's no coincidence that like the exchange reserves aren't going up, and at the same time, price goes down the day of, and the weeks following. A bunch of the aforementioned people that we talked about in the stream saying orange coin bad, right? Patricia says, yes, credits to DD teachers for evolving me too, for my evolving too. Credits to yourself, Patricio, because you actually show up to every single one. Developer Direction taught me how to do a double reverse linked list. I would never, ever want to do a double reverse linked list, but we can do that. We can. But yeah, guys, I mean, overall, like all this other stuff, like there's really nothing sus. There's really nothing Susaton 5000 going on with this stuff. Aside from all these things that we mentioned earlier, those were sus. This isn't sus. Of course, that's not sus. That's beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and stick by and double down on everything that I said, guys. Be it as it may, I would expect more orange coin bad rhetoric. And who knows what's going to happen, guys? Who knows what's going to happen? It almost looks like people are like being positioned to where they either have to choose one path or the next. One type of system or another type of system. And at this point, I would be like, who do you trust? Shadowy supercoders or Janet Yellen and Lesgoff Brandon? Coordinated Wyckoff fuckery? Nah, dude. Nah. I mean, if it looks like a Wyckoff pattern and you call it that, I mean, I guess you could call it that, but I just don't think, like with everything that's going on, I just don't see it. I just don't see that being the case. This is intentional, guys, and they're going to continue to use their words to push it down. Let's do everything that you guys can. If it's something you believe in, if it's something you have a strong conviction in, to follow through. You know, I'm not saying like sell the dogs and the kids in the house, but like it would really suck. At this point, guys, they have two options. They can either continually print excessively large amounts of money on a regular basis, which just like kicking the can down the road, right? Kicking down the road. That hurt. Let me do it again, guys. Kicking the can down the road. Or they can do the same thing they did in 2008, except this time it's going to be much worse. Either way, they're fucked. You're not, though. So don't worry. Do not worry. I think, guys, I think that's all I had to say about the matter, to be quite honest with you. Just remember, the orange coin really isn't that bad. Okay? It's really not that bad. It's actually kind of nice. Why don't you hang out with it for a little bit? Maybe, hang out with them, hold on to them for a year or two. You might not be upset. You might change your mind about it. Stay frosty out there, my friends. I am out. Good night, and I love you all.